What's up, YouTube? Old guy 379 here coming at you. If it looks like I'm a little lathered up and hot, it's because I'm in Florida and it's like 70 some degrees and I've been out doing a little polishing. And while I was doing that polishing, I was actually thinking a lot about a conversation I had last night with the guy that I'm leased to. And we got on the subject of different places that we go and you know, kind of laughing and poking fun at the shippers and the receivers and talking a little bit about our experiences over the years dealing with different people. And, you know, so last night, and this all ties in, last night I got my truck washed at the Blue Beacon in Tifton, Georgia. And the little gal that runs the cashier there, that's the cashier for them, had a customer come into her after the manager and two other guys being told that he wanted brightener on his truck and he wanted this and he wanted that and he wanted the Rain-X. And then he came inside, and when he got charged for him, he told the gal, I didn't ask for any of that stuff, after they'd already pretty much started on his truck, right? So she called in the guy that the wash bay attendant that driver had spoken to, and it's the same guy I dealt with, and proceeded to tell him, hey, I didn't tell you any of that stuff. And the guy's like, well, I'm sorry, sir, but you did. Well, your dumb broad over here, and called her dumb and called her stupid and a couple other words that were really inappropriate for anybody. And that's what I want to talk about. How you act when you go into a shipper or receiver, does it actually, there's several things. One, it reflects on you personally. Two, it reflects on the company that you work for or drive for or lease to or your own company. And three, and probably most importantly, besides the personal side of it, is it reflects on the entire trucking industry. Now, we've all dealt with that shipping clerk or receiving clerk who is just an absolute, utter a-hole. What I always like to do, I go into these places and I try to keep a good attitude. I smile when I go in, you know, yes, sir, no, ma'am, whatever. You know, I haven't had anybody yet get mad at me for using the wrong pronoun. Not out here anyway. But, you know, I always try to be respectful and kind and kind of joke around and have a good time. And usually 99% of the time that breaks the ice and it brings that tension level down from 95% to about 45%. You know, the guy or gal is still usually on their guard. And here's why. I've been so many places, and this isn't to poke fun at guys from other countries. The ones that I've seen the most do this are from other countries. They'll walk up, they'll cut in front of line, they'll walk up, you know, and they'll tap on the glass and you know, and just make a complete nuisance out of themselves. And it just really irritates those people. And it doesn't matter if you're from the United States, if you're born and raised here, or if you're from Yugoslavia or the Ukraine or Russia or India or Kuwait or wherever, Germany, South Africa. I don't give a crap where you're from. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, these places have their procedures set in place, and those people behind the counter expect you to follow those procedures. And none of them are exceedingly difficult. You know, you show up, you roll up to the guard shack. The sign says, pull up to the stop sign, bring your paperwork back to the guard shack. Don't sit in your truck and wait for them to come to you. Don't stop next to the guard shack unless they come out and tell you to. Pull up to the stop sign, get your trailer even with the back of the guard shack like they want you to, so they don't have to walk so far, because let's face it, most of them are pretty lazy. Walk your paperwork back there, do what they ask you to do. And I guarantee you it will make your life infinitely easier, okay? Everybody talks about the golden rule. It's a biblical concept. Jesus said, love others as you love yourself. And whether you ascribe to Christianity or not, that's neither here nor there. Everybody wants to be treated well. People are people, man. It doesn't really matter where you go, what you do, what your background is. People want to be treated well. You want to be treated well. I want to be treated well. That guy behind the counter wants to be treated well. The gal at the fuel desk at the Flying J that's just been a total B word to everybody all day long. All she wants is somebody to smile and say, hey, you have really pretty eyes. You don't have to flirt with her, but just tell her something nice. Wow, I really like your hair. Oh, it's a nice shirt, you know, whatever. I don't care. If you see they're having a rough day, say something kind to them. Say, hey man, nice tie. You know, dude, that's a really nice tie. That's really cool. I have one just like it at home or whatever. You know, how are you? It's a loaded question. Most people will just answer, I'm fine, even if they're not. The last guy I worked for, I remember one time I walked into his office and I was like, hey Jay, how are you? And he goes, why do you want to know? Does it matter? And I said, yeah, actually it does matter. I care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't ask you how you're doing. And I thought that was, you know, insanely rude on his part, but I think it comes from decades of being asked that by people who really don't care, you know, and it is just a way of breaking the ice. Just say hi, hello, how are you? Have a nice day when you leave. Thank you. They aren't always going to say thank you to you, but even though you paid them to take their merchandise away from the truck stop, say thank you, have a nice day. I've been to a couple places now. I've only been back out here for a couple months, but I've been to a couple places now that I've been into like 3-4 times, and they remember me. They're like, oh, hey, how are you? Yeah, it's good to see you back again. Why? Because I was nice to them. No other reason other than they remember that when I was in there, I was treating them with respect and kindness, and I got it in return later on. And I can assure you that later on, the next 3 or 4 or 5 customers that came through got treated that same way until somebody turned the tables around. So it's the same with dealing with the DOT and the highway patrol. You know, there's a lot of tension there. You don't know why you got pulled over. You don't know why you're getting pulled into the scale house. You just got inspected a week ago. What's the freaking problem? It's random, guys. They're just doing their job. Be nice. That guy's got a wife and kids to go home, or that gal's got a husband and maybe, or whatever. It doesn't matter. The fact of it is they're people and they deserve to be treated with respect. I run into other drivers out here, you know, and I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you're from the Ukraine, Russia, South Africa. What I'm going to say hi, and I'm going to wave, and I'm going to smile. I'm going to say, hey, how you doing? What's up? Every time. And I always make eye contact. Now, not everybody responds. Some people just have a chip on their shoulder and they're like, ugh, and they walk away. Whatever. Don't take it personal. They're having a rough day. You don't know. Maybe they're just having a rough life. Man, I don't know their story. You don't know their story. So the point is, in all of this, when you go in, and I'll give you a good example. This will make you laugh a little bit. So back, I have to look on the map here real quick too while I'm talking to you, because I got to remember where this place was at. But back in the early 90s, I used to deliver Price Clubs and Costco's all over the Bay Area and LA. And I used to go to, what the heck was the name of that little place down there? Man, I don't know if I can find it now. Anyway, the gal that ran this Costco, she was, let's say she was something else, you know, Mountain View. It was Costco in Mountain View, California. Sorry, I don't mean to take all your time just trying to find something, but it's just, it is kind of part of the story. So this lady, little Asian gal, I don't know what nationality, Chinese, Japanese, I have no idea. She's a little Asian gal and just mean as can be. Her name was Rose. And everybody that I worked with called her the Dragon Lady, because she was brutal, man. I mean, if you showed up early, she didn't want to see you until your appointment time. If you were late, forget it, man. 2 minutes. She was trying to dismiss you and send you down the road with your 1 or 2 pallets orange juice. Not a big inconvenience, but you were late. It didn't matter. To her, it mattered. It was the world. So one day I'm going down there, and I've been dealing with her for about 6 or 8 months every week, you know, or at least a couple, 3 times a month. And I got back on the freeway. I was up in Hayward, and there was a Mexican gal standing out at the end of the street there selling flowers right outside the Price Club there in Hayward. So she had roses, and I said, "Can I get 6 roses from you?" She goes, "Sure." And it was like $3.50. I mean, it was just ridiculously cheap, and they weren't the best roses, but they were nice. And so I put them in the truck in a bottle of water and stuck them in the cup holder, and down the road I went and made about 3 more deliveries. And the next day I had to deliver at Mountain View the next morning, and it was at like 7:30 or something like that. And I rolled in about 7:25, and I walked up to the door, and I rang the buzzer, and she opened the door. She said, "What you want?" And I said, "I'm here to check in. Got your orange juice for you." "Oh, okay." And I handed her the flowers. "What's this for?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, what's this for?" And I said, "What's it for? It's for you." She looked at me kind of sideways, and I was like, you know, pretty lady, you need pretty flowers, right? And oh my gosh, she melted. She just, you could see all the just in her face just go away, and she started smiling, and she goes, "Really? And you trying to get one over on me? What's your angle?" Basically is what she said. You know, I don't remember. And it had this just deep Asian accent. It was pretty funny. And I said, "I'm nothing. Just thought, you know, you could use some flowers. You seem like you're the type of person that would appreciate flowers, you know, and they're for you, just for you. No big deal, right? No motives. You back into door 2. So, all right. So I got backed in, did everything. I run into another one of our drivers a couple weeks later, and he is like, "What did you do to the Dragon Lady?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "She can't stop talking about you." And I said, "Is it a good thing or a bad thing?" He goes, "She is just, it's almost like she's in love with you." He said, "She's just all over herself. Where's Glenn? How come Glenn's not here? He's so nice. He's so respectful. He's so kind." You know, and all I did was bring her flowers. I mean, because I dealt with her all the time. So, I mean, I just, you know, it was just one of those dumb things. And then the owner even got in on it. He's like, "Oh my gosh." He says, "The other drivers are complaining because she don't want to deal with anybody but you." I said, "Well, maybe they should take her flowers too. I don't know." You know, it was just so funny. And doing the thing with Ryder where I was hauling the windows for Anderson was kind of the same thing. You know, I went to the same places every single week, and I did everything I could do to make their jobs easier and make mine easier by making theirs easier. You know, I knew the product that was on the trailer better than they did. I knew where it was at on the bill of ladings. I would go through, and I would, like, if I went to Johnson Madison in Great Falls, Montana, they always had big orders, lots of windows, and I would try to get all the accessories out and all the small stuff like the window latches and the door handle sets and the lock sets and everything and the trim boxes. And I would have them all laid out by order number, separated, so that we just had to go through the paperwork and just check them all off. Made their job so much easier. And when I quit doing that after 4 years, Joel was the yard manager's name, and Joel was like, "I hate you." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because every time you've taken a vacation, we've had to deal with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. And now we have to completely retrain somebody." And I said, "Retrain? You never trained me. I came in here doing what I do just to do it. You know, it was to help you. It wasn't because you wanted me to." I said, "I spoiled you guys." And Joel's like, "Yeah, you did, you know." But having said all that, guys, you know, these little stories are funny and all, but it goes to show you, and that kind of rapport with people, even if you never see that person ever again, goes infinitely off into the distance for you and the next guy. There's a couple places that I go to down here now that we deliver to, that I've been to a couple times, and they recognize me. because I'm nice. They're like, oh, hey, how's it going? Long time no see. What happened? Where you been? You know, same with the truck stops on the way out across here, different places. So, yeah. The other thing, this goes along with the same thing, image. When you walk out to your truck, do you look at your truck and go, dang? Or do you look at your truck and go, oh, dang. I didn't know that was there. It's just stack busted off the back of your cab, and the back of your cab's all black with soot. You know, is there part of your fender broken off? You know, does it look like maybe your truck hasn't been washed since the day it rolled off the assembly line? Do you have garbage piled up in the seats and up on the dash? I mean, you know, take some pride in what you do, guys. Seriously, take a lot of pride in what you do. You do a job that not everybody can do, not everybody's willing to do, more or less, and that not everybody can do well. But with some effort, everybody can do it well. I really believe everybody can do this job very well if they put the effort into it. I just had a guy make the comment earlier, you know, I was out there, all the stainless on the truck, you know, from all the salt and the calcium chloride and stuff, you know, there's little rust spots and water spots and everything. So I was out there cleaning all that off. And this guy's like, well, that's why I don't drive a fancy truck anymore. I got tired of doing that. And I looked at the truck he was driving, and quite honestly, I don't think he ever had. But that's just my judgment call. I could be wrong. The guy probably could have owned a show truck. I don't know. But it takes effort. It does. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work. But if you keep up on it and you do little bits here and there, just like keeping the inside of your truck clean, you know, if you don't work on it every day and a little bit every day, it doesn't take long in a small space like this for it to get out of hand. You know, they get dirty really, really fast. Even in the summertime when the weather's nice, you know, if you haul produce or you pull a flatbed, you're in and out of dirt lots and mud lots and everything. You know, if you don't keep up on that, next thing you know, your floors are covered in dirt and mud and sand and whatever else. And, you know, it gets gross. Put floor mats down on your floor. And the reason why I tell you this is, hey, you're walking around out in the parking lot and guys pee on the ground, they spit on the ground, they're crapping on the ground, they're doing whatever else. Stuff gets stuck to the bottom of your shoes. You wear them in your truck. I have a rule. The shoes stop right here by the driver's seat. They don't go in the sleeper. I don't want any of that back there. Regardless, you know. It would have to be an emergency for me to get back there with shoes on. But, you know, image is a lot. It means a lot. You know, if you drive a company truck, keep it clean. Stand out from the rest of your peers. Keep your truck clean. Keep yourself as clean as you can. I know it gets difficult out here, and I brought this up before in one of my videos. You know, I understand. I've been times, you know, doing what I do where it might be 3 days before I get a shower, but I get a shower, and I keep wipes and stuff with me to try to mitigate any offensive odors and that, because I don't like to stink. I don't like to be greasy and gross. But there's a lot of you guys that run, you start in a truck stop in the morning, you run, and you stop at a truck stop at night, and you fuel there, and then you go to bed. Take a shower while you're there. You might as well take advantage of it. You get them for free, right? For fueling. But it just, all that together, the positive attitude, the clean truck, the clean driver, not using a lot of foul language, you know, try to talk to people like you're talking to your pastor or your priest at church, unless you have one of those priests that talks like one of the ones that I used to go hunting with. Don't talk like him. Actually, as a Baptist minister, it wasn't a priest. He was a Baptist minister. But that's for a whole nother story there. But speak to people in a way that makes them want to listen to you. And speak to them with the expectation of them to respond back, not just to hear yourself talk. You know, I stop sometimes while I'm doing these videos and I think about what I'm going to say next, because it's not because I don't have the words. It's because I want to use my words. I want to be careful with how I use my words, or what words to use in a situation, so that I don't come across sounding arrogant and full of myself, because I used to be that guy. And I've never really had much trouble making friends and keeping friends, but I was also very much known as the guy who was very full of himself and arrogant and stuck up, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that guy. You know, I let my reputation of getting the job done and everything go to my head, and I had to step back from that a little bit and reevaluate. I still have that reputation, but not the arrogant part, sorry, the part of being able to just get out and get the job done. And you don't have to be an arrogant dink to do that. You know, and I have my moments, don't get me wrong. But guys, gals, fellow drivers, those who are thinking about getting into the trucking industry as a driver, a dispatcher, a fleet manager, a safety guy, whatever it is you want to do, how you speak to people and how you treat people speaks volumes about your own character. And if you can see your flaws and admit to those flaws and change that and make a positive difference in it, so you can make a positive difference in somebody else's life, the sky's the limit. Your possibilities are through the roof. So all that done, I got my truck shiny. She looks good. I'll throw some pictures in the video. Actually, I'll throw a little video of it last night. I am a little disappointed, though, in the Blue Beacon in Tifton, Georgia. You guys did a pretty good job, but you missed, like, the whole center section of the back of the sleeper. The driver's side stack, you got, like, 2 brush strokes on it, and that's it. Other than that, you did a pretty good job. For a Blue Beacon, you guys did a really good job. You missed all along the top edge of the doors on the trailer, too. Sorry, I'm kind of sweaty here. That's gross. But drivers, take care. Be safe out there. Always, man, be safe. Keep the shiny side up, the rubber side down, and the greasy side down. Shiny side up, greasy side down. And we'll catch you on the flip side, drivers. See ya.